Welcome back to the Frozen Forum podcast. I'm your host, Alex, joined by my co-host, Nathan DaCosta. How is it going, Nathan?
It's going good. It's been a long time since we come to you guys with the podcast episode, but we're ready. We're fresh. We've had these last 2.5 months off. Alex and I and our friends have been very busy, but we have been paying attention to the Habs, and we are very excited to talk about them today.
Very excited to talk about it. I mean, while we're recording tonight, we've got a preseason game going on, Montreal-Philly. We won yesterday's preseason game against Pittsburgh. A beautiful Oliver Kapanen goal in the shootout to seal the deal. But we got a lot to talk about. This episode, just like we kind of did last year with this episode, is really hey, what's been going on? Because it's been 2.5 months. The summer sometimes is so slow. There's no hockey to watch. You're just sitting at home going, man, do I really have to watch baseball? Which, I mean, this year, it's been pretty good because the Blue Jays are actually a decent team. But in previous years, it's definitely been a little bit harder to get through the summer, you know?
Yeah, I 100% agree. I mean, the Blue Jays this year are exciting. I'm going to the game on Thursday. We just got to hope that they can not be playing in the wildcard games to just secure that playoff spot, because we all know what happens in those wildcard games. So let's just see them get straight in.
Exactly. But enough for baseball, because we're back to hockey. And it started, and, we had, your rookie camp has already happened. We've had training camp has been through. I mean, this, I guess, is part of training camp, this preseason stuff. But we've got a team. We've got people on the ice. We've got Cole Caulfield scoring goals. We've got Lane Hudson getting assists. Like, what more could you ever want in life?
Noah Dobson, and we got that too.
Hey, we got that too. Look at that. Let's talk about him, actually. Let's go straight into it. The big news of the summer, obviously, right before the draft, we announced that we trade for Noah Dobson. This is your big right shot defenseman. Has 10 goals last season in 71 games as a defenseman. Take that every day. Obviously, there have been some questions around the league about his ability to defend, right? Which is something I've heard Nathan echo a little bit. This is actually really funny. Everybody always says to us that, on this podcast, it's like, we're just always on the same page. We're always like agreeing on it. Nathan and I have been like the exact opposite ends of the spectrum of the Noah Dobson thing. Nathan was like, what on earth are we doing? I've been like, no, this is the best thing that's ever happened to the team. Obviously, it's not either of those things. It's something in the middle. But what do you think of him? What do you think of the trade initially? What do you think about the signing? Like, we signed him $9.5 million for 8 years.
Initially, my initial reaction was, why are we paying Noah Dobson $9.5 million? We could have got him for less. However, after some more consideration and with the cap floor rising, I can justify it a little bit more. It makes a little bit more sense to me. And it does fill a big gap that we needed filled. We needed some defensemen to fill it. Now we have Dobson, Gooley, Hudson, and Carrier. So that's our first two lines. And then our third line, obviously, still not the best, but...
I mean, right now you've got Mike Matheson and you've got Arbor-Jacket. Now, okay, I want to come out right here, beginning of the season. This is episode 1, okay? I'm going to take a step back for this Matheson talk, okay? I'm going to give him a chance. I'm going to be fair. I promise. I won't actually, but I'm going to really try to be fair, okay? Because it's a new season, and more importantly, we're going to start the season with Mike Matheson not being on any power play units, which in my head can only make things better, because half of the problem with Michael Matheson is that he shoots pucks into defenders' shin pads on the power play. And so if he's not on the power play,
maybe he'll only do it when it's even strength.
maybe. But at the very least, like right now, Nathan, I like the way Noah Dobson fits into this lineup as of right now, and this is not long-term projected, because I don't think this is representative at all of what it'll be in the long term. But we've got Michael Matheson playing with Noah Dobson on the first pair. We've got Lane Hudson, Caden Gooley as a second pair. We've got Alex Carrier and one of Arbor-Jacket or Jaden Strugel as a third pair. I think that as it stands right now, I would not take another defense in the National Hockey League over ours.
I think that's fair. However, I think Carrier should be on that first line over Matheson. Just put the young guys out for more shifts and put our third string D pair, which would be Matheson and Jacky, who do not have great cardio. Just put them against the weaker lines in the league. And then our top two lines can play most of the minutes. I think that'd be better.
It's fair. It's fair. And but this is what I'm trying to say is I'm going to give Marty the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to give. There's a lot of writers in these sports, journals that are saying that Mathis is not actually that bad of a player. We're overreacting. So I want to give it a chance. We're going to see right now. If after 5 games, the expected goals for percentage for that first pairing defense is 34%. You best believe that I'm not blaming Dobson for that. I'm blaming the other person on that pairing, not because it might not be deserved on Dobson's end, but because simply I have such a long track record of bad decisions on the other side, right? I think though, speaking long term, because obviously this Noah Dobson thing is not just about this year's team. The way I see it flowing is you'll eventually have a Caden Gooley, Noah Dobson pair, and you'll have a Lane Hudson, David Reinbacher pair. Now, I don't think Reinbacher's yet at the point where he's in the NHL. I think they're going to give him more time to develop in the A. But he's looked really good. He looked really good in the preseason game yesterday. It's good signs, right? And so when Reinbacher gets to that point, and everybody in the organization expects he will get to that point, I think that's how you see it playing out. Matheson's on the last year of his deal. So if Reinbacher gets to the place where he's ready to make that jump, he comes in, plays a few NHL games, Kent Hughes goes, yeah, we're going to give him a chance. I think what you're going to see in February, you're going to see Matheson shipped to some other contender that needs a defender, and you're going to see Reinbacher come up into the lineup, and it might disrupt some things. It might throw off the games a little bit, but I think that's what you're going to see because that's the future of this decor, right? Are those 4 individuals. Like, what do you think about that? What do you think that future looks like? How
Yeah, I
bright is
agree.
that
I
future?
also kind of think Matheson is now the odd man out of those 6 defensemen. Last year it was okay because Savard was there too, but now you got the old guy gone, so now the oldest guy is now Mike Matheson. I think it just makes more sense to just keep the flow with these young players coming in.
Right. And I mean, you play defense, so maybe you can speak to this a little bit more. One of the things that Marty's been talking about Matheson and Dobson being on the same pair is both people are very good puck moving defensemen. Like they're very good at getting the puck up the ice, right? Might not be that great in the defensive zone. They're great up the ice, right? So would you rather like a D pair where both people are specialists, I guess you could call it, in that offensive zone and keeping plays in the offensive zone and cutting off plays in the neutral zone? Or would you rather have one person like that and then the other person on the pair be more of the stay-at-home kind of type who's better at defending in their own zone?
I think the balance of the offense and like one defender more offensive based and one staying home a little bit more defending, because our forward core looks very solid now. I think we can get away with having just one of the defensemen pinching in and being competitive in the offensive zone with our 3 forwards and our defensemen, and then leaving one defenseman to hang back a little bit to make sure we're covering all our bases.
Well, because I would agree, right? And so like the way I see that is like David Reinbacher is not pitched as the huge offensive defenseman kind of guy, right? Neither is Caden Gooley, right? Now, the ones who are, you have Blaine Hudson, you have Noah Dobson as your main 2 offensive guys. So like to me, I see 2 offensive guys, 2 defensive guys in the system. 2 left hands, 2 right hands, right? They complement. It just makes so much sense in my head. Now they can't do it right now because I think for 2 reasons. I think the one big one is that Marty is in love with Mike Matheson. I think there's some kind of relationship there. I don't know who's doing what, but something's got to be happening for this love. But I think the other one is David Reinbacher's not here yet, right? And so no matter what you do, you have 3 offensive defensemen right now. And so it's how do you balance that within the lineup? Marty says, hey, let's take the 2 more experienced guys, put them together, and then take the less experienced guys in Hudson and Gooley, and maybe that balance will be good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Okay, so we've talked about Dobson. I want to talk the next trade because we make another trade this summer. We send Logan Mailloux to the St. Louis Blues for Zach Bolduc. Talk me through how you thought about that when you saw that.
Again, that was another one of these trades where I was like, I've heard this guy's name a few times towards the end of the season, but I honestly did not know who Zach Bolduc was. You loved this trade, and all of our friends were ripping on you, and even I was like, gotta kind of agree with them. What are you going crazy for about Zach Bolduc? However, watching his footage, he's exactly what we need. He's what we need up there in the forward core. And we got him for pretty, like, what's his
Logan
contract?
Mailloux.
Yeah,
I mean,
Logan Mailloux.
he's played one season in the
Yeah,
NHL.
yeah.
I guess technically it's two. He's got 2 years burned off of his entry level contract, right? He scores 19 goals last year, which would have placed him 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. That would have placed him fifth on the Montreal Canadiens in scoring. Take in mind that most of those goals but towards the end of the season. And if you listen to what Bolduc says about his game, it's like, and you watch some of that tape, he gets a lot more physical at the end of the season. He starts hitting everything in his path. He starts battling for pucks and corners. He starts going to the dirty areas of the ice. Like, this is like, if there was one thing I don't think we really had in our forward group, it's like that kind of gritty player that has top 6 level talent, right? Like, Slavkovsky tries to do that, but he's more on the talent side than he is on the gritty side, right? So he's been trying to learn the gritty side. Bolduc started like that, and then just halfway through the season, just started going, hey, wait, what if I just hit the guys that I'm skating towards? And then all of a sudden, like, he scores, like, I swear, like, 15 of those goals were in the last, like, 30 games of the season or something like that. It's actually ridiculous. Where would you slot him in, out of curiosity? Like, assuming that Suzuki, Caulfield, Slavkovsky line is stable, where do you put Bolduc in the rest of the lineup?
Probably toss him in as a third liner. I don't think he's, like, you're keeping Gallagher on that fourth line this season. Who do we take? Oh yeah, Logan Mailloux.
I mean,
Yeah,
Logan
I
Mailloux
think.
played. Sorry, just on that note, Mailloux played, what is it, 7 games with us last year.
So who are we getting rid of?
Well, you have to remember, Yoel Armia left, right? Christian Dvorak left. That's your 2 big things on the forward group. Which, look, Armia was a good power play or penalty killer. Christian Dvorak, you can sort of say the same. We're gonna miss either of them, like. No, like I said, that Christian Dvorak deal, by the way, that we sent a first and a second or whatever for this guy. Like, holy man, what a bad trade that was. But I mean, at the same time, signing Kotkaniemi to a $7 million contract isn't looking great for the Canes either. So, I guess it's a lose-lose. But ouch.
Yeah, but I'd say the third line, because that third line, or the second line right now, is going to be Line A Demidov.
Guess who's back?
True.
Guess who's back?
Yeah, Mr. Kirby Doc. He'll be on that. And then third line, you're going to have Bolduc, Heineman.
Oh, Heinemann's traded to New York in
What?
that Dobson deal.
Shit, yeah. Who do we have on the third line with him then?
Well, you're going to have Alex Newhook is going to be your centerman. And what did we say? We said Gallagher's going to the fourth line. I'm assuming that's with Anderson and Evans. I think that actual spot might be, I want to say, because I think that's where, like, we were slotting, like, Owen Beck in at the end of the season.
Yeah, you're right.
We're like, the other option right now is, like, Oliver Kapanen. We have, like, Joshua Waugh, obviously played some games last year. We'll see if he can crack the lineup this year.
I've heard Philip Massar a few times, but I don't think he'll.
Okay, well, right now, tonight.
Is there a world Florian Jack-Eye makes the roster this season?
Look, this kid, oh my goodness. What a great. Oh, by the way, it's 2-0 Habs. We've got a goal from Florian Jack-Eye. As you say, Florian Jack-Eye has scored a goal.
Okay.
From Tyler Torp, which I love saying his name like that because that's how the Quebecers say it. It's Tyler Torp, and then from Luke Tuck as well.
Nice.
No, Florian Jack-Eye is a good call out though, because man, that kid is what a great story / what a great potential future for this guy. Like,
he's also another guy we would need on the forward line with, like, Bolduc to be that sheriff number 2.
If you put Bolduc and Jack-Eye on the same line and they're just hitting everything in sight, like. It'd be so fun to watch. That's all I keep thinking about. Like so many of the players on our team this year, Nathan, so much fun to watch. Like,
that's the pros of a young team, bro. They're gonna piss off Ryan Reeves when they play him. Oh my god.
I will say, shout out to one of my favorite Twitter accounts. One of the guys I follow on Twitter, love Joe Veleno, and we picked up Joe Veleno on a $750,000 contract or whatever it was. There's another forward that you can add to the potential forwards that make it. I think that last spot, like that 12 spot, you're gonna have a line of Evans, Gallagher, Anderson. I think for sure. It's just a matter of who slots in. You call it a third line. Like if I was Marty, hear me out, right? You know how you got 3 deep pairings? You got 4 lines, right? To me, Hudson should like always be on the ice with Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Suzuki. Or I've actually thought about this a little bit because I was wondering if you need Hudson with them or if you want Hudson with Line and Demidov.
Because he's the assist weapon, and then they just rip. Yeah.
Right? So I think I'm going to try to call how the season's going to play out, okay? I think what we're going to start with, you're going to see the first line go out, like the Suzuki line, go out with Dobson and Matheson. You're going to see the second line, the Demidov line, a Doc line, go out with Lane Hudson, Caden Gooley. And then you're going to get the third line or the fourth line with the third D pairing. And so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4. And so I think like those first 2 lines are going to play like 20 minutes a game. And then the other 2 are going to get like 10 minutes a game, essentially. Give or take like penalties and power play and whatever else. But that's what I think Marty wants to do. Because if you can make it like we talk about chemistry all the time on lines, right? In terms of like you need your forward lines to have chemistry. What if you could have all 5 people have chemistry and they're always out there together, right? As a group.
It's a good concept. I'm just wondering, like, Patrick Laine is not going to be able to skate for 20 minutes a game.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Nathan. Have you heard about this training regimen he's been on?
I've heard. You told me all. This guy's been training his ass off. I won't believe it till I see it.
Okay. You don't have to believe it till you see it. I'll give you that. All I'll say is last year, I thought Laine looked slow. Preseason game yesterday, there is a clip of him skating around defenders to get to the net.
I think he is a fast player. I just wonder if he can keep it up for 20 minutes a game.
We're going to have to get into projections soon because
Yes.
I'm dying. I'm dying to say the things I want to say.
I know, same. I am ready to give some hot takes once again.
We did it last year. We should do it this year as well. We need goal predictions because assists and stuff, points, whatever. Like points grow on trees, right? When there's goals. The goals matter. So
we're going to do that right now?
We're going to do that right now. And I'd like to say that obviously the assumption here is that they're not injured at all during the season, right? Which we did this right before Patrick Laine got injured last season, which was like, well, great. Okay. Like sure. Yeah. He can't get to whatever number of goals we said he was going to get to. But who leads? Who do you think? End of the season, the lineups stay the same, lines stay the same. Who leads the Montreal Canadiens in goals and how many goals they have?
I think it's pretty straightforward. It's going to be Cole Caulfield with 51 goals.
51 he's got him at.
51.
I assume you see that first power play unit having Caulfield on that dot.
100%.
Who's second?
Second and third are going to be tight, but second will be Suzuki, and I'll put him at 40.
And your third?
Third will be Ivan Demidov with 37 goals.
I don't even want to think about what you have Laine at then.
Also pretty close, like 30, 33.
All right, so you've got. I'm gonna cut in here because ludicrous takes over here.
Yeah,
but I need to give some of my own, right? So I'm gonna say I don't think Cole Caulfield yet is
we'll break 50.
A 50 goal scorer. I think he's gonna be really close. I think it's gonna be like 47 kind of thing. I've got Patty Laine at 55. Here's what this is based off of, okay? I don't know if you've seen these passes that Demidov has been offering up in preseason hockey and in the scrimmages that they've been playing and in the camps that, like, you give Ivan Demidov the puck, Patrick Laine is scoring.
So has he lost a lot of weight?
I have no idea. All I know is he's been working out like the entire summer. He's been skating the entire summer. I look at it this way, right? Like you're talking about Patrick Laine. Patrick Laine, this is the prime of his career, right? Last year, He comes into the season feeling good, not great, good. He gets traded right before season starts to the Montreal Canadiens, right? He's still coming off of this really bad thing with Columbus, right? Comes into locker rooms feeling a little bit better, is starting to get his love for hockey back, injures himself, plays the rest of the season when he comes back, slightly injured, breaks a finger or whatever in the playoffs, is not himself the entire time, right? Stays in Montreal, regains his love of hockey, trains, does all of the things he's supposed to do, gets back into prime physical shape. I think you are going to see, like, this is Patrick Laine's progression, right, over his career, right? You have this period in the middle where it drops, right? He was a 40 goal scorer as a 19-year-old. People always forget this, right? His career is going like this, right? Then he's got some bad stuff happen in Winnipeg, bad stuff happen in Columbus, right? I think last year was the little come. I mean, he scored 20 goals in 52 games. That's a like a 30 goal pace, and like he's not there the whole time. He's not there the whole season.
You got to remember the forward line is 3 players. I have faith in Laine. I have faith in Demidov. The wild card is Kirby Dach, and if Kirby Dach isn't there, I don't think that line is as strong as you think. But if Kirby Dach is there the whole time, I agree.
I'm so high on Kirby this year. You don't even know, man. Like don't get me started with the whole contract year thing. First of all, because it's contract year, and players seem to figure out how to play when they're in their contract years. I read a whole interview that Kirby did, right? Because he injured his knee again, same knee, same injury. And so they asked him about it. They were like, okay, like, what's different this time? And he said that the first time when he injured it, it was really hard to like do all of the things that the doctors are telling you to do. You know, they're telling you don't put weight on it, don't stretch it, don't do this, right? And you just kind of you feel okay, so you start rushing it a little bit. And the thing he said is like what he realized after he re-injured it was the first time it was just he rushed it. He didn't take the right steps. He didn't do the right training, the right activities, whatever. Caden Gooley made a comment saying that he's never seen Dach look as strong as he's looking right now. And that's because Dach knew the second time through what he has to put into it. He knew he cannot overexert it when it's still in that healing phase. And he's gone and worked out. I mean, Caden Gooley was saying he would spend 3 to 5 hours in the gym a day, right? For some weeks, getting his knees to the place where they need to be. I honestly think, Nathan, like, I think you're going to see the dream start in Montreal. You're going to see like a 9-1 run to start the season. You're going to see like the first 30 games, we're going to be like second in the Atlantic kind of beginning of the season. I
And
think
then we
that's what you
fall
can
off.
expect. I don't know. And see, this is the thing, right? Like when I look at young teams, this is something I saw in Buffalo a lot, right? When you look at really young teams with young guys coming in, when they start to get that hunger, it's really easy to start the season hot. It's really easy to come in and be dominant in every facet of the game because everybody's so locked in. But that season's long. It's a grind, right? To get through like January, especially. January is like, from what I've read, is like the worst month because you've been playing hockey for 4 straight months essentially. And now you have another month. You have no breaks in between. You're playing almost every other day. Everything's starting to hurt a little bit. You know, you're starting to feel gassed, whatever else. January is the hard one. That's where the young teams start to fall, right? The difference was last year, we did fall a little bit in January, to be completely honest. We had a great December. Didn't have a great January. Come back from the break, we had a great end of the season, right? And what you're going to see this season, you're going to see that beautiful start. Like, I actually, like, I think this team is capable of so much. I love Samuel Montembeault as a goalie. I think he's a top 5 goalie in the NHL right now. And that's what the stats say too, which is like not even me like making shit up, right? I think we can do a lot. The question that I have is whether or not we can get over that January hump and finish the season. We'll see. But like I'm so excited, Nathan. Like I actually like.
Yeah, that whole take on getting over that hump, that's true because the team's just so damn young and they are not that experienced. So yeah, I get that.
And I mean, you listen to how Florida talks about it too, right? Like when they went to the Stanley Cup final and lost, right? What was it? It was Colorado that beat them that year. Is that the Colorado year? Probably, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You hear what they talked about, and they were like, we just didn't have anything left. we got to the playoffs and like we were battling through everything. And so then you hear about what they do the next year when they win this cup. And a lot of it is like, let's take the effort in the regular season to do well, but make sure you save something for the playoffs. I don't think we're at that stage yet. I think we're at the stage of, make sure you save a little bit for the end of the season, right? And so I think the way that this team evolves is like this season is the season where we're going to learn. And we might still make the playoffs, to be completely honest, right? Like we might still do well in the regular season. But I think the lesson that the players are going to have is, man, that end of the season was really hard to get through, right? And I think next year is going to be the first year where we go, okay, we got to the playoffs. Playoffs was easy, but we actually didn't have anything left for the playoffs now, right? They're going to learn that. Stanley Cup 2020, what is that, 7? 6? No, 8. 2028. That's what I'm saying. 2028 Stanley Cup champions, Montreal Canadiens.
So it's going to take us 3 more years.
Well, I'm saying like 26. 26 is this year, right? 26 Stanley Cup.
26, 27. So yeah, 3 years. Okay, I like the take. But I still want to hear some of your other takes on guys like Suzuki on his goals.
I'll say this. I don't see Nick Suzuki's goal total changing a lot in the future. Like I think 30, he had 30 last year, 33 the year before. I don't think he's the guy that cares, first of all, how many goals he's getting. I think he cares a hell of a lot more about Caulfield getting goals and Slafkovsky getting goals. And so what you're going to see is his point total go up a lot because Slafkovsky's not going to just score 18 goals this season. But I think he stays around that 30 mark.
Okay. Fair.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. And he continues with an absurd amount of assists. Speaking of an absurd amount of assists, how much is our guy Lane Hudson? How many goals, first of all, is Lane Hudson going to get this season?
Laner last year had 6.
Yeah. And he got most of them towards the end of the season.
So happy with 6, to be honest. Lane Hudson, to me, could score 0 goals and he could still have successful seasons. He's going to score because he shoots a lot, because he makes plays a lot, because he does beautiful things on the ice a lot.
He does do beautiful things on the ice a lot. And he's been in the league for a year now. He knows how the shit works. This guy, Lane Hudson, is not getting 6 goals. He's getting 20. He's going to get the Norris this season. Lane Hudson is getting 20 goals this season. He will be the undeniable favorite for the Norris. He's like a plus 3,000. This guy's getting 100 points this year. 20 goals, 80 assists. He's going to show you why he's the best defender in the league.
I love it. Honestly, the craziest thing about Lane Hudson, Nathan, is you say that, and I know you're saying it because you believe it a little bit, right? But also because it's a fun thing to say, right? Lane Hudson is the kind of player that you go, yeah, he could.
He genuinely could. It sounds...
If you told me that was your prediction for Arbor Jack, I'd laugh in your face, right? Be like, yeah, great, good job, right? Like, you say for Lane Hudson, I was like, he could have a 130-point season. Like, why not? Like the guy... I honestly look at this power play unit. This power play unit is going to be something.
It's going to be disgusting. They're going to be scoring like 50% of the time.
Like, I mean, Edmonton scored, so like, no, I just think like our power play unit, because the way power plays work in the NHL is like, you'll have a team that goes on a streak, right? Where their power plays clicking. And then other teams will realize what that team is doing, come up with a defense to it, and then they go cold a little bit. And then the power play adapts, figures out something else new, and then they start clicking again, right? And it's this like yin and the like, it's like this flow, ebb and flow kind of thing, right? I do think that power play is just going to start out like a ridiculously high percent.
Yeah, it's going to be disgusting.
You know what they're talking about? They're talking about not putting Demidov on the first power play unit.
Okay.
Hear it out though, okay? Because Zach Bolduc has a proven record of being in front of the net. And so what I heard that there was a practice where they put Bolduc in front of the net. They put Slafkovsky on that point on the right side. They put Caulfield on the left dot. They put Suzuki in the middle and then Hudson at the point to have a second power play unit where you have Dobson at the point, Laine on the left, Demidov on the right, somebody like Gallagher in front of the net, and then like Kirby Doc is a slot guy. So you keep your lines together. This was really interesting to me because like I think the big thing that like the really, really big thing that Marty St. Louis learned last year as a coach, it's an important lesson, is that chemistry matters, right? It's if you can come up with stability, if you can put trust into the players you're supposed to put trust into, right? You can develop chemistry. That's what happened when Hudson got put on the first power play unit, right? It's like to me, Marty learned that you can't make all of these young players earn it. Is like sometimes you just have to trust it because the chemistry that comes from just trusting them is way, way, way overpowering towards doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I 100% understand what you're saying. I'm just wondering how much Bolduc may weaken that power play.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I've never liked
Unless he's just
Slavkovsky in
staying
front of
there
the
the
net.
whole time. Like,
I've never liked Slavkovsky in front of the net, though, right? Like,
well,
how
yeah,
many times did I complain about this last year? Like, you
you
know,
can't have a player with his skill caliber in front of the net. Yeah, I agree.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Zach Bolduc lived there. Like, that's his like bread and butter. You know. So if you can give me back my Slavkovsky on the right dot with the one timers, with the shots, with the wrist shots, with the passes over to Caulfield, with the passes to Suzuki in the slot, right? Like to me, it's like ideal, you know. But then again, I love Ivan Demidov, and that power play in the playoffs looked insane. Why change it if it looks insane?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, but I mean, I like the idea. In theory, it does sound good. And if there is a time you're going to try it, it better be at the beginning of the season.
Things can change, right? Things can change.
Things can change.
Okay, I got a question for you. We were talking about predictions and stuff. Give me a number for Noah Dobson. Scores 10 goals with the Islanders team last year. The Islanders had like 0 offense the entire season. What do you think?
Well, I think 15. However, for 9.5 million, I'm hoping more than at least 18.
I mean, the 9.5 though, for a defenseman side, can come a lot more in assists, right?
That is true.
Like
That is very true.
the big thing people were talking about this past season with Dobson is like he scored 10 goals both years, right? Last year and the year before that. But the year before that, he had 70 something points. And last year, he only had like 50 something points. They're like, oh, look at this offensive drop off, right? It was like, well, hold on a second. Because who's he passing to? Like, it's great. It's great to say, oh, look, it's this guy's fault because he's not passing the puck as well. Well, if he's passing to Yoel Armia, he's only going to have 67 points as a rookie defenseman in Lane Hudson. If you're passing to Ivan Demidov, that's a very different conversation we're having. So that's where I think like the assist total to me, Dobson and Hudson, this team is so offensively gifted. And I just wonder how it's going to work defensively. I wonder who's going to take on more defensive responsibility. I think you're going to see a lot of Jake Evans, Brendan Gallagher, Josh Anderson in the defensive zone starting shifts, like a lot of starts. Now, that being said, Kirby Dach said a lot about trying to become better defensively. It's obviously what you're supposed to say, but like...
So you're going to have them start in the defensive zone, get it out of the zone, then have the big dogs come out? Yeah.
I mean, you can't do that always, right? You can't do that always. I trust the Suzuki line to do that as well, right? I think they showed last season that they can be good defensively. They're very good at controlling play, for sure. I don't know. There's just so many ways this thing can go, like there's a lot of upside in this team. Like, I think that's like the big story, Nathan, is like the difference between last year's team and this year's team. Like, think about this, right? At the end of the season last year, you have David Savard in your defense, right? Who is very literally a negative value add, right? Like, from all of the analytical sides, from all the negative value, right? You change him, you put in Noah Dobson. You end the season with Christian Dvorak.
And Armia.
Hold on for a second, right? Because you end the season with Christian Dvorak. Now you have a fully healthy Kirby Dach. Do you believe there's any world where Kirby Dach performs worse, assuming he's healthy the full season, than Christian Dvorak last year?
No. Obviously, no.
There's no world, right? There isn't, because what the hell did Christian Dvorak do for half the season? Nothing. So, like, you know what I mean? Like we're talking about, you take Christian Dvorak out, you put in Kirby Dach, right? Who's next? Yoel Armia comes out of the lineup, right? Look who comes in. Oh, look at this. Got this young guy named Zach Bolduc. Do you think there's a world where Zach Bolduc plays worse than Yoel Armia did last season? Not to say Yoel Armia was bad, right? He was pretty good defensively. But, like, it's close, maybe. Maybe you can see a sort of a world where Bolduc plays similar to Armia, has a similar sort of impact. But, like, the upside on this kid, he's 20-something years old, right? Like, upside is ginormous. Then you have Hudson, now second year in the league. You've got Cole Caulfield with another season, Suzuki with another season, Slavkovsky, the big one is Slavkovsky, right? He's now 20. Is he just
22?
20? I swear he's just 20. Like, I
No, I
swear
think
Uri
he's,
Slavkovsky is 20 years old.
no, I think he's 21.
Okay, whatever. 21, same thing, you know?
Yeah.
But he's 21, right? Another season to him is huge. Yeah, I just look at this team, man.
We're making the playoffs. I think that's inevitable.
There are some people who say we won't.
Who are these
I
people?
want to run something past you. Okay? So I've been thinking about this a lot, right? Because I think the NHL comes down to a lot of one-goal games. I think the difference between last season and the season before, where we came 5th last in the NHL, right? I think the big difference was that when we came 5th last, we lost. Like, any game that was a one-goal game, we lost. And then we lost like 14 games in overtime or something like that. Something ridiculous. We were like 14 out of like 20 or something. Like, we won 6 and then we lost 14. The difference last season is all of those one-goal games became overtime games. Like, when we were losing by 1 goal, all of a sudden we were like getting to overtime. And then in overtime, the difference was that, like, some of those games that would have gone to overtime ended earlier because we scored another goal because we had a little bit more offense, right? And then those games that we did go to overtime, some of them we won more of them than we did the season before. And so you just have this trickle up effect, right? You have this. We start with like 70 whatever points we got the 1 year, and then all of a sudden you just add in these little goals throughout the season. All of a sudden you're 20 points higher. And we ended with 92 last season or something like that, made the playoffs. You end up like 16 points. That's 16 different instances where instead of losing the game or losing in overtime, you've won the game, right? Or made it to overtime.
So, what's your question?
So to me, well, I was going to say is like all of these models, they go like they might miss the playoffs because they outperformed. But to me, all it was you added this little bit of offense, and all of a sudden, all of those 1-goal games just flip, and then you make the playoffs. So to me, I don't understand why everybody's like, oh, they could miss the playoffs. It's like all you've done here to this team is you've added more offense.
I mean, yeah, we could miss the playoffs the same way Florida could miss the playoffs. Okay, maybe that's a back. But you get what I'm saying. Anyone can miss the playoffs. I don't think this Habs team is missing the playoffs. I also don't think this Habs team gets less than 100 points this season. It is not going to happen. With 2 forward lines and our third line, our first 3 forward lines as strong as they are, and our first 2 D lines as strong as they are, assuming they switch Matheson and Carrier, there's no way. There is no way that we're not getting 100 points this season.
Like we got the thing is, like, we got 92 last season with freaking David Savard in the lineup. Like, you know, like that's how I keep thinking about this. It's like you literally went from David Savard for a whole season to having Noah Dobson a whole season. Like,
and having Caden Primo as one of our goalies.
This kid, man. Yo, give him the color today, man. Like, oh my goodness, the actual hype around this kid. I have never heard anything like it. I have never seen anything like it. It's actually ridiculous.
I wonder what this guy's Calder odds are right now.
Even money.
Even?
Yeah.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good value. Who's in competition with him? Like,
I think they got Zach Pairic, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, you're right.
As like the second guy, and then they've got like, I don't know. I like Nathan. I'd like to bring something else up. In the game yesterday, you know who played for half the game as a goalie for the Montreal Canadiens?
Yeah. Fowler. And he looked good.
Do you know who did not let in a single goal throughout the entire half the game?
Mr. Fowler.
Do you know who made a ridiculous save at 3-on-3 overtime? By the way, do you know why that play happened?
Yeah, Matheson kicked the puck out of the zone and changed like a freaking idiot. Just completely forgets about the
I
entire
don't
play.
believe it. When the announcer said it, when I was watching the clip, and the announcers go, here Matheson leaves the play, and then it becomes a 2-1. It's like, yeah, I'm trying. I'm really trying, Nathan. I'm trying.
His time is coming. His time is coming.
It's like preseason. It's like it's not that hard. Like just make the right decisions.
I know. I think he just part of me thinks like he just didn't care. Like he just did not care. It's preseason. He knows he has a spot. He doesn't give a crap. However, yeah, you got to make yourself look better than that.
But hey, Jacob Fowler, man. Like that save on that, and you know what? All of the reporters were tweeting. They were like, every single tweet that I saw about Fowler last night was Fowler looks so calm. Fowler just has a presence to him. Fowler just like all of the things that they're saying are things people said about CP. Everything, Nathan. I think this guy's special. I think this guy's special.
We just need CP31 to give him some mentoring then, and then.
Well, we can't this season because he's in San Jose. By the way, that's another transaction we should probably cover. Carey Price is officially a San Jose Shark for the season.
Adios, Carey. It was nice having you for these last 3 years. That 10 mil's got to go off our sheet.
That 10 mil, by the way, does a lot for us.
Yeah. Let's us negotiate to get Sidney Crosby. Dude, it's not happening. I agree it would be awesome. If we had Sidney Crosby, we go to the conference final. No problem. But Sidney Crosby is not leaving Pittsburgh. Are you, if you're Sidney Crosby, who's had your entire career, your entire legacy built in Pittsburgh, you've won 3 Stanley Cups, are you leaving there when you still have Malkin and Letang, the core that you're
No. Malkin's getting traded first. Like don't get me wrong. I just think this is what's going to happen. You're going to go into the season. Pittsburgh's going to start too hot because don't get me wrong. The future of the Pittsburgh Penguins is like in the future. The future of that team is completely tied to getting Gavin McKenna this year. Like, if they do not get Gavin McKenna this year, good luck. They will be rebuilding for another 5 years. So I think this is what happens. I think they start
San Jose
hot.
is obviously tanking for Gavin McKenna.
So is Chicago.
So is Anaheim,
right?
probably.
I don't know about Anaheim. I don't know. Oh my God, that team is so it's brutal. And actually, such a brutal team to look at. I have zero clue what anybody is doing in that organization. By the way, would you trade for Mason McTavish? Like,
what position is he?
Center, left shot.
Yeah, he could be a 3C for us.
23.
He could be a 3C, but how much are we paying this guy? If we're not paying him no damn 9.5.
Probably around 7. Evolving Hockey has him at 7.
Yeah, I think that's
because
fair.
Realistically, if this Doc thing doesn't work out, that's a really good option at 2C. That's like a really solid.
Imagine McTavish as a 3C.
Don't make me dream too hard.
You're already dreaming hard enough with this Crosby crap.
No, but this is what I'm going to say. This is what I think is actually going to happen in Pittsburgh, right? I think they're going to start a little bit too hot. I think Malkin's going to get traded within like the first 2 months. I think Letang's going to go by like January. Crosby's going to go to the Olympics as a Pittsburgh Penguin. He's going to go talk to Nick Suzuki. He's going to be like, do you guys really think you can do it if I was on the team? And Suzuki's going to say, yeah, like, that's the one thing we need. And Crosby's going to say, okay, fine, do this. Go do it.
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip that, and I'll save that.
You go clip that. I think the thing with hockey players, and this is different than every other sport in the world, the one thing that they care about is winning. The one and only thing they care about is winning. And, you see players in other leagues and whatever, they go take deals, whatever the biggest money is, whatever. Like, you've got players like Sidney Crosby, who's turned down more money, right? He could have easily signed more money in Pittsburgh. He said, no, I'm taking the 8.7 because my number, and it'll help the team win. He feels that legacy. I get it. He feels that connection to the team. I get it. But at the end of the day, the one thing he wants to do is win. And he ain't doing that in Pittsburgh. That team is brutal.
True, but I think it's for that reason exactly, his loyalty to the Pittsburgh Penguins.
I get it. It's just like at some point you got to say, hey, your career is going to end. And is it a good legacy to leave? You won 3 Stanley Cups with the team. You stayed with the team the whole time. Great, right? But is Gretzky's legacy tarnished because he went to LA? Or he went to New York?
Or he went to St. Louis?
Or he went to, I forgot about that too. He went to, but is that tarnished? Like, does anybody think less of Gretzky's legacy? Does anybody like disassociate Gretzky with like Edmonton? Like everybody who thinks Gretzky thinks the Edmonton Oilers, right? Just how it is. I don't think like the legacy of Sidney Crosby will always be, no matter what he does from this point out, no matter if he wins the gold medal, in the Olympics or not, his legacy is going to be scoring the goal in 2010, and it's going to be 3 Stanley Cups with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's the legacy, no matter what. He's Pittsburgh Penguin for life. Doesn't even matter where he is, right? I could see a world where he gets traded to Montreal and he wears the Penguins emblem on his shoulder, right? Like that, like that's who Sidney Crosby is. That's not going away if he gets traded.
It is very fair. Because then
That's
you
how I
think of
see it.
another player like LeBron James, and he's been on 3 teams.
But that's where you think of LeBron and you go, okay, well, who's LeBron? Like what team is LeBron? Like I don't know. Like who do you think of when you what team do you think of when you think of LeBron?
Think of LA. However, he played with Cleveland, and that's I guess that's a tougher example because he's had success in all those cities.
But more than that, it's a tougher example because he was always just going wherever they paid him the most money, right? And there's no like there was never like I'm going to this place because I love this place and they drafted me and whatever else, right? It's like you paying me money, great, I'll go play there. Sounds great, right? You got a guy here, Sidney Crosby bleeds. What are their colors? Gold, black, and white or something? I don't even know. It's not even gold though, is it? It's like
Yellow.
yellow. More than that, like the Habs are his childhood team, right? And I've heard a lot of talk about how, the best place for him to go would be like a real competitor, right? Real Stanley Cup favorite. It's like, sure, okay. Where are you going to trade Sidney Crosby? Okay, you could trade Sidney Crosby to Colorado, but that falls apart really quickly. Because, yeah, sounds like a great idea. Oh, he gets to go play with Nathan McKinnon. Well, guess what's in Colorado? No prospects, no draft picks. Why is Pittsburgh making that deal? They're not. Somebody said it's highly likely he's going to go to Florida. Florida doesn't have a first round pick till 2029 or something like that. It's like everything's gone. There's no prospects in that system. There's no future in that system. How are you getting Sidney Crosby?
Meanwhile, we have lots.
We are the only. We are legitimately the only team in the NHL that is on the brink of being real Stanley Cup competitors and simultaneously has draft picks and we're the only team. Ottawa's not there. Ottawa's on the brink of the playoffs. Who do they have in their system? 0 people. Nothing.
Detroit's been on the brink for a long time.
That team is brutal. Man, I feel so bad for Detroit Red Wings fans. Again, I see a world. I think it'd be beautiful. You know what? I cannot imagine. The one thing in all of this, right? I cannot imagine what the Bell Center would do. Like they're already going to go nuts. They're already going nuts over Lane Hudson. They're already going nuts over Ivan Demidov. They're already going nuts over that first line that we have, Patrick Laine. I cannot imagine.
The roof of the arena would just blow off.
They'd have to renovate. I think they have to renovate.
They'd have to renovate. Everyone in the arena would need earplugs. The decibel reading would be like 120. Just way too loud.
The whole time. I don't think it died down. I honestly don't think like who would have to get on the ice? No, you know what? It would die. This is when it would die. It would die down when Arbor Jacki and Alex Carrier step onto the ice with Brendan Gallagher, Josh Anderson, and Jake Evans. That's when it would die down. The only time.
Yeah. God, this team is going to be so exciting. Are we going to go to a game this season?
I have to try.
You're going to have to try.
I'm going to a Buffalo game, but one of the games that they're playing in Buffalo. We'll see though. But we'll have to do something at some point. I think we're going to go back to going to home openers next year.
Yeah, I agree. Once we're all finally done school.
And like have jobs and like money contributing to the economy and have the money to go to the Habs games that are going to be so expensive because they're going to be so good.
Yeah. Maybe not in the nosebleeds anymore.
Hey, well, I think the price increases that'll happen in the nosebleeds are gonna be quite enough for us to pay.
Maybe we'll get a sponsorship. Maybe we'll get a sponsorship by the Habs if our podcast does well.
Maybe we'll try to get media passes. What we'll do. See what you have to do to get a media pass. Something tells me we're gonna need more than. Hey, as a side note, we're almost at 100 subscribers. Are we not on YouTube?
Yep, we're like 82.
I think
a real happening, and that giveaway will happen.
It will happen
this season.
This season.
Yep.
Follow, like, subscribe. No, we'll do that in a bit. But before we do, I want to hear some last takes from you. I'm gonna rapid fire some names off. I need a goals total for them because they matter to the team. All right,
Okay.
ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's go. The first one I want from you, Uri Slavkovsky, scores 18 last season.
He had a slow start. I think he is in his form. So I'm going to say he's going to have a solid 27 goals.
Awesome. Alex Newhook, we're putting him as a third line center, had 15 goals last season.
I think he's going to be at 14 or 15 again.
Nice. Kirby Doc, 10 last season in 57 games. Obviously gets injured.
I'm going to put him at 20.
Conservative. I like the assists. I'm definitely more on the assist side of him. I don't see how he could score that much with Line A and Demidov on his line.
Yeah, it's going to be hard.
Fair. Who else matters to this team? Give me Zach Bolduc. Scores 19 last season, 72 games, rookie season in the NHL.
I'll put him at 20.
Maybe some acclimation kind of thing that he's got to do.
Yeah. I also want to give a number for Caden Gooley. I think Caden Gooley will have 11 this year.
After 6 last season, I like it. I mean, he only played 55 games last season. Why was he injured last?
I don't know.
Yeah. I remember that injury. Oh, that was a terrible stretch. That's why we weren't good in January. It was because he got injured. I forgot. That's right. Okay, finally, last big one, Mike Matheson. Scores
That
6
boy,
last.
he is getting 3 because he's getting traded.
3 with the Montreal Canadiens, eh?
Yes.
That's pretty good. I like that.
What do you have for all those guys?
Let's go through. What did I say for Caulfield? I said Caulfield 47. I said Suzuki 30. I said Patty Lining's getting 55, right? I think is what I said.
Lane Hudson?
Lane, don't shoot me. I'm saying 5.
And he's going to get 95 assists then.
I'm going to say 6. I'm going to say 6, and he's getting over 100 points.
Okay. I can agree with that.
Slavkovsky's so hard, man. So hard. I really like your line at 27. I'm gonna go 30, and we might have to like wager some like editing or something like on like who's closer for next year.
Okay. Maybe next year we'll have our own editors, so we'll have to worry about that.
I wish. Alex Newhook, you got 15. 15 sounds right. It's gonna be within that like 12 to 18 kind of range, I think. I'm just gonna say the same as you, just to be boring. Kirby, I've got lower than you. I got Kirby at 15, but again, that's because I don't see him scoring goals on that line very often. Got on a pairing with Lane Hudson. I'll give him an 8.
Let's do an interesting one. How many shutouts for Montembeault this season?
That's a good question. Shutouts for Monty.
I'm gonna say 5. 5 shutouts. Wins? I don't know. It depends on how many games.
Well, wins is whatever, sure.
Yeah.
I've always thought wins is a stupid stat. Give me a save percentage.
Put him at 9-15.
I'm gonna take the over on 9-15. If you want to take the under.
It'll be very close to that, I think. How many shutouts? It's hard. It's very hard to predict that.
I just see. I really think with all of this offense in the lineup, you're going to see a lot of offense on the way back. It's only going to be two shutouts for Monty this season.
Okay, I guess we'll see what happens with all these projections.
I want to finish mine. You said Dobson 15. I think he's going to stay solid with that 10. I think that 10 is a really good number for him. You said Bolduc is 20. Man, this kid. I think if he's on the first power play unit, it's 30. Like, I think that's what you're going to get with Bolduc, and it's going to be ridiculous. The thing with this team, like, I really just think the offense is going to be absolutely insane. And the question that I'm going to keep having is, what's the defense like? And that's why I look at a guy like Mike Matheson as being like a liability, is because you need, like, if you're going to have so much offense on your on your forwards, like, you need some of your defense to actually be able to play defense. I don't know about that. For that one.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And finally, the one that actually matters, Ivan Demidov.
I am going to put him...
You said 37. I got a number for you. I'm going to say 22. I'm going to say 22, not because I don't believe in Demidov, but because I believe a lot more in his playmaking abilities.
Laine.
And so I think if I'm going to put Patrick Laine at 55, which is 22 goals higher than you, I think I got to put Demidov at a slightly lower. I just think that line's going to be ridiculous.
I agree. It's going to be gross.
Well, we'll see. We've made our predictions. It's a brand new season, Nathan. Isn't it so exciting?
We're just getting started with this preseason. Oh my gosh. When does the regular season start? October 10th, something like that.
He's right. Sounds right. 17 days. That sounds right.
Baby, it's coming up fast, coming up hot. We're ready. Ready to see what these Habs got.
It's gonna be something, you know. It's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be such an exciting season. Like no matter what this team, Philly just scored as a side note, which was on Jakub Dobish. Sorry, as a side note, you know we're talking about defense and all that. Through the first 30 minutes of this game, oh, never mind. It was on Kaapo Kähkönen. There you go. Not on Jakub Dobish. Dobish went perfect. He had a shutout in the half of the game that he played. There was 9 shots against in the first 31 minutes of the game.
For Pittsburgh yesterday?
No, for Philly today, right now.
Wow.
So we were talking about defense.
Is Philly playing their actual team though? Because it looks like we have a bunch of our dogs out.
I mean, they're playing the dog Christian Dvorak, so I don't know why.
Okay.
No, I mean they got Couturier out there, they got Delorier, they've got Luchenko, they got Tippett, they've got Travis Sanheim out there on defense. You got Dennis Gilbert, who's a defenseman, who got the assist on that goal. Like it's not that bad of a team. I mean, Owen Tippett, I love Owen Tippett as a player.
Yeah, one tip's good.
They got Bobby Brink, so real team. I think it's just as I mean, again, we should be way better in the preseason than most other teams because we not only have a real NHL team, we have a real system, right? And so usually what you see in the preseason is, you've got either good NHL players and nothing behind it, or you have good AHL players and nothing in front of them. We have both. So we should be better. But again, Jakub Dobish, 30 minutes, 57 seconds played, 9 saves made. Which, if you told me a goalie only made 9 saves for half the game, I'd be like, oh my God, that's like...
Pretty impressive, yeah.
I'd be like, that's ridiculous. Like, where did all of the other shots go? Like, that's a lot of goals, They only had 9 shots against. Sorry, what is going on in this game? We had 8 shots. We had 2 goals on 8 shots in the game.
Yeah.
No. We have 8 shots total.
No, I know. I saw that earlier.
What?
We still have 8 shots?
We still have 8 shots. There's 32 minutes of the game gone. We have 8 shots on goal. Sorry, 10 shots. It's 10 shots on goal because there's 2 goals. It's 8. I understand. It's actually ridiculous, though. I think we stopped playing. I think that's what happened. I think we went out. Caulfield scores. Jack-Eye scores. They go, okay, yeah, we're done. This is a good preseason game, guys. All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to wrap up?
Yeah, I can wrap up this episode. Yeah, I think we've covered everything we need to for this first one. And then I guess we're recording again because I'm gone in BC. I can see if I can do one on my phone while I'm there because I should have some free time next week. Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah, because you leave at the end of this week, right?
I leave on Friday. Okay, well, everyone, thank you for tuning in to episode 1 of the second season of the Frozen Forum podcast. For those of you that are returning, thank you. We appreciate it very much. We appreciate all of your support. And to those of you that are new here this season, welcome. You're going to see lots of exciting Habs content. You're going to see some hot takes, just everything Habs. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. And on YouTube, make sure that you hit that notification bell. You like the video, you leave a comment. Helps us out tremendously. Make sure that you also follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. Make sure you leave us a review there. That also helps us grow. Thank you very much for watching us, and au revoir et bonsoir.